What's up, friend? You are you interested in lack of skill? Yeah. Or maybe some suck. I'm just a new guy for the love of game. We don't go, I know it's bad. Times have changed, but not by mad. Don't you know that games are my thing? Yeah, I know it's getting real late. Come on, look at me. I even do storytelling. Also, podcasts on great game subjects. Okay, yeah, I'm not a Markiplier or a PewDiePie. But hey, that's what makes me so unique, right? 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 All right. And hello, everybody, and welcome to another case of the NIKO show. I'm your host, NikoTheLegend. And today is a very special presentation in the NIKO show, and there's a reason why. Because we're just doing one topic today. And I think, you know what, I'm just going to skip through the preliminaries and all the intro stuff, and kind of just get right to it, because I think that's just a neat little thing. I don't know how long this is going to take. Usually I go about an hour with these videos, the NIKO show. But if it does get for longer, that's great. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, as the title suggests, wait, hold on a second. We actually have some introductions here. Perfect. All right, yeah. Good. Yeah, best introductions ever. Okay, so we're going to be talking about GREEDFALL. And what is GREEDFALL exactly? Well, I have a bunch of links and videos up already. And we'll pretty much be going down one video at a time, or we'll see how long it takes if I even get through all the videos. But honestly, we're just going to be learning all about GREEDFALL. And I'm going to be trying to inform you guys. This video will be also posted on the YouTube channel. And hopefully it gets some kind of reception. If not, then that's just a damn shame. Did he do it? Okay. I should have my headphones in, right? Because, just to be a smarty pants, but I don't. Anyway, what is GREEDFALL? GREEDFALL is this upcoming medieval fantasy role-playing game developed by Spiders and releases on September 10th. Although they need to fix it on their website because it says October 9th of 2019, and it's got me kind of concerned. I don't know if this is oh shit. Come on, really? This is rude. This is really rude. Okay, anyway. So GREEDFALL, like I said, it's developed by Spiders, upcoming fantasy role-playing game set in the 1700s, well, themed 1700s. And basically, well, let's find out right here. I got the Wikipedia up. Like I said, this is basically a 101 on you guys, teaching you all about GREEDFALL. And another thing is that when we get to the YouTube sections and some of the articles, well, pretty much we're going to go bit by bit on how I feel about the game and why I am truly excited to get this game. And I pray to the maker that it does well. If it does, then this could possibly be the new BioWare of our time. And we'll get to that in a second because there's actually an article that talks about that. How GREEDFALL could be the game filling in the void left by BioWare, the dark side of BioWare. Anyway, without further ado, let's check this out. So, I got the Wikipedia page up. GREEDFALL is an upcoming action role-playing game developed by Spiders and published by Focus Home Entertainment. So, as you all know, Spiders has only made a couple games. That's Bound by Flame and Technomancer, and they had mixed reception, mediocre. I've actually played and beaten Technomancer. It was an okay game. It had some pretty interesting story elements and pretty interesting characters, but the combat and the world building itself was pretty flat and dull. And I think GREEDFALL Spiders hopes to remedy that by listening to what the fans said about the previous games and actually making a robust everything pretty much all around. So, and I only played Technomancer once. You could do multiple playthroughs, but I'm sorry, I don't plan on doing it. If they do a sequel to Technomancer, which I kind of hope they do, because I see great potential in the stories and the world they build in that, and I hope they flush out what made Technomancer bad, and then they expand upon what made it good. Like I said, it was a very interesting, futuristic techno role-playing game, like steampunk. Well, not really steampunk, but it takes place on Mars, so it's got some scientific magic element to it. It's really bizarre. But anyway, the game is set in the 17th century style fantasy setting. It will be released for Microsoft Windows, PS4, and Xbox One on September 10th, 2019. So Wikipedia confirms it, that it's coming out on September 10th. I don't know why GREEDFALL's page says October 9th. Maybe that's... No, it says all consoles there. So, what is the plot of GREEDFALL? Which is something pretty interesting. It's not just, let's just save the whole entire world, at least on the surface, right? On the surface level, it seems okay. It seems like a pretty down-to-earth, like a thing that can actually happen to us in our daily lives. So Joey Wheeler, take it away.
See what Joey Wheeler's all about.
All right, good. He's a good guy, plays Yu-Gi-Oh, loves his life. Anyway, the plot, as such, an island paradise has been discovered by colonial forces from several distant nations from fictional lands, but with magic and monsters. It's already got me excited. When you add magic and monsters in this type of setting, I'm already hooked. You play as a neutral human who recently arrived at the island. So when they mean neutral, they mean your alignment is neither good or bad. I don't know if that confused anybody. If not, then good. But yeah, you start out blank slate and everything. Able to ally yourself with either the native elves who inhabit the land or any of the foreign nations competing to conquer and colonize the new land. So that's where the factional system comes in, which is really freaking cool. And, it makes me excited to see how they work out the factions. And then, you can help the natives. You can pretend like you're Christopher Columbus, the Pilgrims, and you have Thanksgiving with the natives. Or you could just take over their land and, Wounded Knee. And, the Democrats do their things with not paying off their debts to the Native Americans who just lie and cheat and everything. But anyway, that's another topic for another time. So it's up to you to decide the political landscape of the island, and what I mean by that is that you're going to be the spokesman and the guy, obviously the main character. So you're going to be relied on heavily, of course, heavily on how things play out and decisions you'll have to make that will shape the course of the land, and that's super important, and it's freaking awesome. I'm glad that it's a simple plot. So it doesn't really describe why you're on this island. Well, back in your homeland, there's a disease that has spread throughout your I guess the continent or the land, or at least the place where you're at. And basically, you're set off to find the cure, which supposedly, I guess, it's on this specific island, which I don't know if it's been explored at all. Maybe it has, and you're just going on there to see if you can find the cure. Maybe the elves have some kind of magic, a specific magic or healing properties or some kind of hoodoo voodoo shit. I don't know. The gameplay. Let's talk about the gameplay. The player, alongside other settlers, mercenaries, and treasure hunters, those are talking about your party members or maybe some side NPCs or some people you help along the way, explore a remote island where the locals who are fighting off invading settlers are protected by supernatural beings. The game includes combat, diplomacy, and stealth. The player's decisions influence and affect the game's story, as well as the relationship between the different factions established on the island. It was announced the game will run at 4K HDR for... Okay, I don't care. Well, it's still pretty cool. 4K HDR for Xbox One X and PS4 Pro. So, a lot of cool things. I guess I don't know if you're the first person to come to the island. Sounds like you're not going to be, and there might be already some dispute or some political stuff happening, some combat. It might just... This is why I kind of like how this game is starting. It kind of just throws you in. Some bad shit's going down, and you got to take care of it. And when we get to the trailers and stuff, like I said, we're going to break it down. I'm going to do that for the first time and actually break down a trailer and explain why this seems really cool that they went this route and why it gets me excited to play this game. But I just want to give you the Wikipedia, which is a really weak page, Wikipedia. Who the fuck did this? Don't they have like scientists review this shit. Get this shit underway. Anyway, so that's kind of like the basic understanding of GREEDFALL. Now, it's very on the surface with Wikipedia as of right now, so I'm sure it'll come up with more information once the game has been released, when people actually are able to play it or review it, however way you want to talk about it. But this gets me really excited, and when you actually see the gameplay and stuff, you'll understand why it gets me excited. So we're going to go to the web page right now, just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect, because it's a very, very interesting wallpaper or background they have. It gives you a very cool idea of what you're getting yourself into. It's almost like a book cover, which these artists are amazing. They do a fantastic job. So let's give you an idea. Okay, so we got the display capture there. So I'm actually gonna make that bigger. So you get kind of an idea of what it looks like. So, like I said, you got the main protagonist there who's dressed up as a colonial style character, which is really cool because we don't get too many RPGs set in that time. I think the only RPGs, believe it or not, is either Assassin's Creed 3 maybe, because, you know, the Minutemen, the Revolution, stuff like that, and colonialism, if that makes sense. And believe it or not, Fable 3. Fable 3 was one of those games that also tapped into the colonial aspect of things because you have the same type of clothing and everything. Same style. So ultimately gets me excited because when I see this game, it really reminds me of Fable, Witcher, and Dragon Age Origins all together. It's one giant threesome, and they all had a child together. So it gets me pretty excited. So as you can see, it says October 9th, 2019. That's incorrect. I don't know how they fucked that up. But as you can tell, let's see here. You pre-order, you get some bonuses. You get an Adventures Gear Pack, which is pretty cool, you know. Some basic shit. You get a fire sword, which gets me excited. You get some interesting armor set, and then a gun. So like I said, there's a lot of... So think of it as Witcher, where you got bombs, traps, and think of it as Fable, where you get to use the combat, the guns, the magic, which you can use magic in Witcher, but it's very it's characterized by Geralt himself. But Dragon Age, how you can do combat, magic, and all kinds of stuff. And of course, it's got Knights of the Republic feel to it because you start out as 3 classes and it grows and develops into something much bigger. It's quality over quantity with this one, which I really appreciate them doing. Okay. So the cool thing is they got a bunch of trailers. I never really watched the Companions trailer because I didn't want to be spoiled on how the factions and stuff work. I kind of want to be surprised. The last trailer I saw was the gameplay overview. And then, of course, Gamescom 2019 just passed, and I wanted to learn more about that. So, the old world is dying. The continent is polluted, overpopulated, and plagued by a deadly, incurable disease. Its weary population grows desperate, but there's a glimmer of hope on the horizon. An island remote and hidden has been discovered. Tir Frede, a land spared by the Melikor plague, a haven of life, wild and untampered by mankind, is the promise of riches, but also represents the best hope for mankind to find a cure to the Melikor. On the hunt for the cure, explore a fresh new world, as alongside settlers, mercenaries, and treasure hunters, you set foot on this remote island sweeping with magic. So you get the idea of how cool this looks. I mean, so in the background here, you kind of see the map here, and it's pretty sweet. So let's kind of bring this back. So, like I said, this makes me really, really excited to have a game like this that we get to just play another great fantasy role-playing game. There's not really many that get released that are worthy of our time. A lot of the times they don't do that good. Or they do really good, like Witcher 3 or Skyrim or something like that. It's very far in between, though. We haven't gotten a Fable game. You know, this could fill the Dragon Age void and the Fable void that we've been neglected, and the Elder Scrolls void because we haven't gotten entries from those games in a while. So that's why I'm really hoping this does what it needs. Now, I don't want to put that much pressure on this company. It's not fair to do that. This is their 3rd game. And they have twice the budget with still a small team. I think at least at most 30 members. It's kind of insane. So it's great to see Focus Entertainment giving them a shot, a 3rd chance. I don't know if they've been published by the same company the whole time, but now we get to see something. We get to see them working with the budget they have. So right now we're gonna go through this is pretty much the trailer I've been looking for to kind of give you like a 101 basis on how this game actually plays out. Now, one thing that I have not seen yet is how you interact with the other players, the other NPCs in towns. Like mainly the world building itself. You kind of get a glimpse of how you talk to NPCs and what you want to say, but I want to see it like fully explored in cities and kind of going from one quest to another and giving just a good overview of straight gameplay, you know, like how they usually show it at Gamescom or E3 or PAX, a really in-depth playthrough. And they did that for Gamescom, but it was in the wilderness. And I want to see it in town. I want to see how the people react to you, what they say, what you can do, if there's mini games or social hub or whatever. You know, that helps with the social interaction and the world building. You know, it kind of gives you an idea of why you should give a shit about these people to begin with. You know, that's really important. And to me, only a few games open world, even though it's a semi-open world, have done this. Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are the three big ones to me that really has your choices influenced in what people... And Fable, surprisingly. People react to quite a bit in that game. So this is the GREEDFALL gameplay overview trailer, which came out August 7th, so this month. So it's fairly new, pretty new. It's within the same month. So this is about a 4-minute thing. So we're going to go bit by bit on why this is exciting. So bear with me. You know, there's going to be some pauses here. So I hope you don't mind. Well, we'll go through the trailer itself, and then we'll rewatch it and break it down, okay? So here we go. All right.
Welcome to GREEDFALL, the core role-playing experience by Spider Studio. Explore the uncharted island of Tir Freddy, which holds promises of secrets, treasures, and adventure. From the very beginning, you're given the freedom to make your character unique. Decide on your appearance from a range of options before diving into your starting skills, attributes, and talents.
And so the day has finally come. My royal fledglings are leaving the nest.
Though you can specialize, you're free to mix and match between all disciplines, ensuring you're prepared for all that lies ahead. Combat styles are varied. Quickly rush in and out of the fray using magic. Hold foes in place with stasis and unleash devastating spells before your enemies can even land a blow. Armor up and knock down enemies with slow but deadly two-handed weapons. Or parry your way to victory with a fast flurry of your rapier. If you really don't want to play fair, an array of traps, bombs, poisons, pistols, and rifles serve to offer even more control of the battlefield. During particularly intense fights, you might want to utilize the tactical pause option. This gives you unlimited time to select from your actions, spells, techniques, and potions to use on the target you wish. All styles of play benefit from the use of Fury, a potent resource that lets you unleash some of the most powerful attacks in the game. GREEDFALL features hundreds of pieces of customizable equipment, armor, and clothing, letting you delve deep into creating your own look and play style. Many of these are specific to the island's distinct factions and may double as a disguise if subterfuge proves necessary. During quests and exploration, overcome challenges using stealth, deception, and combat, or a mix of all three. Struggling to gain entry to a guarded building?
You're in our territory.
The obvious solution might be to just kill all the guards in combat and loot the key, but that kind of decision-making could have messy consequences. Over time, you'll develop skills that offer alternative solutions. Knowledge in the sciences might allow you to craft explosives to blow out a wall, while a talent for lockpicking can gain a less destructive entry. Remember, using force is not always the best way to defuse a situation.
That drunkard is the only son of the Prince d'Orsay.
Diplomacy is often an option, though be mindful in your choice of companions.
Done with my mother!
A poorly timed outburst might ruin your chances at a peaceful outcome.
You're acting like a beast.
An ever-growing cast of colorful characters from a diverse range of factions joins you on the island. Who you bring with you into quests and combat is up to you, as you compose your party of 3 from the companions you've met so far. Develop your relationship with each party member,
and I hope that this singular appearance makes me more attractive to you.
undertaking personal missions relating to their unique backgrounds. The strongest of friendships may even lead to romance. Thanks to your party's different, often conflicting beliefs and motives, it won't always be possible to please everyone. Ignore someone's needs for too long and they might not stick around, becoming antagonistic in the worst of cases. Political diplomat, or battle-hungry warrior, zealous hunter, or champion of the natives. No matter what you choose, forge your own destiny in GREEDFALL, releasing September 10th on PlayStation 4.
Okay, so that's it for that, and you can, if you're still there, people, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, whatever, that's why I'm really excited to play GREEDFALL. that whole overview trailer they did a good job explaining what needed to be said and what needed to be done. So now we're going to actually break it down bit by bit, and you know what? Let's give them a round of applause right here. Sorry. So, yeah, we're going to give them a round of applause for that. Actually, let me do something here. I need a white background here. This ain't happening. Okay. So we got a good gist of Greedfall even more now. Now we're going to go through the trailer and break it down a bit of why this is super exciting for me. And this overview trailer might just be the breakdown that we need to understand why I'm so excited about this. This video has over 2 million views, folks, and 7.3K likes and 385 dislikes. That's like 3 to 1, basically. That's a crazy amount of likes percentage compared to dislikes. So people are really excited for this game. I think this is definitely one of the most anticipated games of the year, believe it or not. And you know what? Spiders is doing a good job marketing it. They're doing a good job making it interesting. I mean, there's like this special gravitational pull that I have towards this game. It's really alluring me to it. It's very alluring. And set in the 1700s. Now, a lot of people like just straight medieval fantasy, like in Fable 1 or in Skyrim or Dragon Age, but you know what? I kind of like how this is almost the best of both worlds, except it still retains a lot of the fantasy elements that we see like in Witcher. Witcher 3 has a lot of stuff like this with special creatures and monsters and magic, but also has real-life politics and kind of like folklore tales. And believe it or not, a lot of the stories that are in this game and characters are found in journals from explorers and journalists themselves from the past. So it's kind of giving them interest. It's a very cool historical thing that they're doing to make it special in the game itself. Yeah, I don't know too many games that follow actual journals and travelers and you know what they've jotted down. So anyway, let's start from the beginning here. I'll bring this up. Okay.
Welcome to Greedfall.
Okay, so this gets me excited already. This is such a cool thing. I mean, they did a great job with the trailer. I mean, just starting out with you on a boat. Obviously, you don't start off on the boat right away. Like I said, you start off on your homeland, and then you kind of, I guess you're just doing your daily routine, and then some shit happens, and you're sent off on the boat, and you're getting the fuck out of there. And I know it's going to be one of those things where it's not going to take you too long to get off the island. It's not. I don't know if the prologue is going to be that long compared to like Red Dead Redemption 2, which had a pretty long prologue, which some people didn't like, but I liked it a lot because it was very cinematic. Not cinematic, but very had a very climactic feel to it and some emphasis on the character building and stuff like that. So hopefully they do a good job in the intro to kind of explain why this is important and not. But at the same time, they don't make you feel like you're stupid or something. Like they have to mansplain it to you or just sit there and just pretend you're like some kindergarten kid who's never learned math the first time in his life. So you know fantasy role-playing stories, you know what makes them so engrossing, and it's very, very interesting to see how this plays out. So let's continue.
The core role-playing experience by Spider.
So from the get-go, we see, I guess, I don't know, are you the character? I think you're the character on the right. Or you could be in the middle. This is actually interesting. I don't know. They all look like main characters, but I think the guy on the right. I don't know if you can actually put facial tattoos on your character. I'm not entirely sure, but if you can, that's excellent. But it might be you on the right because I've seen that as a DLC or a pre-order costume, so it's very possible. Anyway, your new explorers to a land, and what makes it that exciting is too. This is what's great about stuff like this. You and the character in the game are first time ever exploring this island. He's never been there, you never been there, and you get to create that story and live out his experience for the first time, which makes it even more special.
Studio. Explore the uncharted island of Tir Fredi, which holds promises of secrets, treasures, and adventure.
Okay, so this right here, we're gonna stop right here so you can get an idea of what environments you're gonna be going into. There's so many different kinds. As you can see here, we got the woods, we got kind of outdoorsy with the rocks building and stuff like that, kind of like how Skyrim was. And you got some old school ruins in the background. I mean, just look at this. This is a beautiful shot of lighting, volumetric clouds, the the foliage density and stuff. It just looks very well designed aesthetically. It looks very well polished, and it just looks so lifelike in the way, you know? That stuff's hard. So here's a city shot. Kind of gives you an idea of the architect. You know, you got some brick buildings, you got some archways and stuff. It follows that kind of the 1700s. So, you know, archways were made in like Romanesque and Gothic periods. You know, but you know, that stuff keeps going, right? So it kind of gives you like cobblestone, brick buildings. So things are getting modernized, and I'm sure, are there any lampposts? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there are lampposts, maybe. But anyway, like I said, there's going to be so many different places you're going to be going into the game. And it reminds me of Skyrim because there's a bunch of different cities in that game, and they're all vastly different. They all have different factions. They're all different belief system, different people ruling them, and they have... Well, I'm giving Skyrim a little too much credit. Some of the people that rule the different cities or towns are kind of boring, and they don't have much to say. That you can't really do much. But you still learn a bit about the background of the place and the civilization, how things are run. Anyway, let's continue. So this, like I said, this gets me really excited. Going to many different places on the island. It's not just one track. You know, you can't really get bored. And it's semi-open world, so they're all going to be linked together. So you're going to have to like transport your like quick travel maybe, or walk there and it had a loading screen. I don't mind the semi-open world aspect because it makes it feel like each environment is very special in its own way. You're going to be doing a ton of stuff. You're going to be exploring. It makes it more memorable. I don't mind seamless adventuring, but you know, it turns into like an open world game that's kind of like that. A lot of the times the environment's pretty much the same all the way through. And you know, you're kind of like on one giant island, and there's just so many different types of environmental changes. Dragon Age Inquisition is a semi-open world game that made each area feel special in its own way. Although some were a bit too big, like the Hinterlands was way too big, but it was definitely pretty awesome and amazing to see how grandiose the environments could look and everything. They made it very aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. So I don't know if there's a day and night cycle. Dragon Age Inquisition did not have one. They kind of just made it static. It was either day, nighttime, sunset, morning. They kind of changed it up, cloudy. I don't know if there's a day and night real-time weather system, but I hope there is. In the places you are, just add a little bit more realism. But if there isn't, it's not a big deal. I don't mind that. But at the same time, I kind of want to see what each place looks like day and night. You know, throughout the day. It would be pretty cool. And also, each environment you go to, each region or world, whatever part of the island you go to, will have different monsters, different ways of playing, and probably different factions in all the different places you go as well. So be prepared for that. That gets me excited. That's awesome. So it's something new for you to play at all times.
Treasures and adventure.
So right here is kind of like the spoilers, the beginning of the game. So this is what I also love. It throws you in the thick of it right from the get-go. These motherfuckers bring this crazy monster from this island. And it might lead to the plague. Maybe when you kill the enemy, its carcass just splats all over people and they get infected or something. I don't know. But you're kind of... Oh, it's raining outside. So you're kind of in the thick of it right from the get-go, and you have to fight this big asshole. I love that, how it doesn't hold your hand, and it's just like, oh shit, handle the situation, you goddamn newbie. And you gotta... It really puts you in the thick of it. Almost like a Dark Souls situation where they throw some crazy-ass bosses in the beginning to kind of really prepare you for what's yet to come. And the bosses are hard, challenging, and difficult, but it requires a clear mind, a collective mind, and you reap the rewards once you beat it.
From the very beginning, you're given the freedom to make your character unique.
Okay, so this is also an amazing way of doing something. This is creative as shit. This guy's trying to draw you, right? That's what I was talking about. It's the blank slate of character building. Your guy's literally starting from nothing. And of course you see a default character over there, but obviously you're going to change how he looks. A lot of games will go with the default look, but at the same time, this mirror, this image of this painter painting you gives you something to be excited about. You're going to be creating an image for this guy to paint and for everybody else to see you in the world, which there's no way to do that or it's a seamless process. There's no other cooler way to do this. It's amazing and creative, and they actually took the time to make it interesting. A lot of games, they kind of just throw you into it. You're just like, oh, this is my character. I look like this. There's nothing creative. You know, you just kind of just wake up and you're like, all right, here we go. Dragon Age did that a lot. Even Knights of the Republic did that a lot. You know, it was just like, oh, you just wake up and you're just going, you know. But sometimes they add a little creative element. They're like, oh, what do you look like? What do you like to do or something? Or like, what's this all? They ask you questions pertaining to your identity, which is a cool way to do that. I really like the seamless way of character customization, and this is probably one of the most seamless ways possible. So, like I said, this is pretty cool. I love it. And like I said, this is a very amazing aesthetically designed image. The concept, the aesthetics, and just the resolution of it all is just really spectacular. Yeah, you can tell I got an erection for this game. Hype train, bitches.
Decide on your appearance.
Okay, so as you can see, we Sardine. That's not his name. I don't know if this is. I guess it is in English. I guess your guy's name. You can't change his name, which is fine because I guess for dialogue reasons, because your guy speaks and everything. So, you know, kind of like how they did with Dragon Age and Mass Effect. They call you. They never give you your first name. They always say your last name. And, you know, I mean, that's fine. Or they give you, like, some surname or nickname. You know, the Champion of Kirkwall or Sarah Hawk or Commander Shepard or something like that. So as you can tell, we got the gender, which is obviously male or female. You got presets, the face, hair, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much the same stuff we'd be expecting. But, I mean, look at these character models. These, you know, in the beginning, I was skeptical how this game looked. I thought it looked a bit cruddy. I don't know what he has on his face. Is that like a birthmark or something? That's kind of freaking me out in a way. I don't know if it's like some edgy thing they're doing, some weird shit. But it looks great right here. And this is on the PS4. Okay, remember that, folks. This is on the PS4, and it looks pretty damn good. So I'm getting this on PlayStation, and it's going to look a gazillion times better. I can only imagine how it looks like on PC. It gets me even more excited to see what they do. Maybe there'll be some ray tracing involved. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, this image is like fatly stretched. There we go. It's a lot better. So we get the customized. Let's see how they
from a
change.
range of options before diving
So
into your
female, pretty cool. Okay. Now, I don't know if there's like a Paragon Renegade system in this game. There's probably not, but I do know that you'll be making some important choices in the game that reflects on what kind of ending you get. I know there's 3 different kind of endings, they said. Probably a good, bad, and then the best ending type deal. You know, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Quality over quantity, I guess, as you can say. But, you know, it offers multiple pathways, of course. That leads into 3 pathways. It kind of gets railroaded in the end, but that makes sense. That's how it should be. But this is, like I said, this is really cool. And, like, this, look how different this character is compared to this character. Whoops. Let's try that again. So here we got, I think, an Asian individual. She looks kind of Asian, but maybe she's not. Maybe she's just got those eyebrows and just some
range of options.
I don't know. But they look great, though. I mean, they look really great. And these are presets, and the presets look good. Mass Effect does not have good presets. They suck.
We're diving into your...
Oh, it's raining now. So here we get to the starting classes. Now, this is something that's super important that might draw people away. This is a big deal because some people like quality over quantity, and that some people like quantity over quality. I am the one that likes quality over quantity. I'm a person who grew up playing Knights of the Republic, and I loved how they picked 3 different classes. You got Scoundrel, Soldier, and I can't remember the other one. Bounty Hunter? I don't remember. But they had 3 different classes, and then it just expanded into this giant skill tree to where you can play the game however the fuck you wanted to play it. You can put it in blaster, melee, dual wielding, force powers, healing, this, and that. Like, it was crazy mix and match. So we got the warrior, the technical, and the magic. Very exciting to see that. You guys should be excited. As you can see, you get the starting skills, you get recommended attributes, and recommended talent. So this is magic. Starting skills, divine magic, ring stasis, one-handed heavy weapons. So magic users still use combat. They still use physical moves. You can consider them battle mages, which is great. Your guy's just not a piece of, just some wuss who can't ever use a goddamn sword. Like, you expect me, a magic user, to never know how to use a freaking sword or a dagger, at least to hit somebody with it, you know? some games just don't really want you to do that, or it takes a long fucking time to dual class. But they kind of combine some classes into one, which is great. Divinity Original Sin 2 is the game that does quantity over quality. They have a lot of different classes, and they do a bunch of different shit. But in the end, it's like, well, I just want... Why is there so many? Like, it takes me a while to decide which one I want. And I'm like, no, I just want it to be basic as shit. And simple. Keep it simple. Why does it have to be so complicated? So recommended talents. Science, intuition. So it kind of gives you a great idea of what you're going to be getting yourself into. So take your time on this stuff as well. Don't ever rush it. This is super important on how you want to play, but by all means, you can just be the best fucking hybrid. You could probably be a warrior tech and magic user, however way you want it. You could be more warrior and some tech, and then maybe half magic or something, and that's great. That's flexibility. That's what you want players to do. You want them to experiment and get through the levels that way.
Attributes.
Okay, so we got the attributes. This is kind of like your, kind of like how in Skyrim you got your like agility, strength, and probably aim and magic or sight or so whatever you want to call it that kind of help you, give you some passive abilities. So agility increases fury generation and all damage inflicted in melee combat, so this is be good for a warrior. Attribute required to wield the best one-handed, two-handed swords. I'm going to be a motherfucker who uses two-handed swords. Oh my god, it's probably going to cause the stream to shut off. This crazy crap's going on right now. I can't handle that. Oh, well, he just skipped through really fast.
So the day has finally come.
So let's continue on. So as you can see here, this is the beginning. This is your guy literally learning how to play. This is character building. He starts off as a peon, as a pleb. This stuff is super important. If you don't believe me, then you should probably pick up a book or two and learn what true stories are. You start out as the learner, and then you turn into this freaking badass by the end of the game. But hopefully it's always challenging, not just not crazy, not level balancing or level scaling or anything like that, but just they have it to where it gives you some kind of challenge, you know, where you're not just one-shotting literally everything, you know. But at the same time, this is really good introduction. As you can tell, there's some great textures. There's some tessellation, some great quality textures and everything. Tessellation is a big thing in Dragon Age 2 back in the day, so I wonder if you guys remember that. So, you know, this is great. This looks like to be your mentor, who's also one of your party members in the game, spoilers, that will help you. So it's kind of going to be neat that you have your teacher with you as you're growing up as a pupil. He's going to be someone you're going to be always looking up to, I see, who will probably be your moral compass. And you always want a moral compass in your stories or in your games, however way you want to do it, because you've got to have some kind of guiding light. You can't just be completely influenced by somebody. There's always got to be a sensei involved.
Fledglings are leaving the nest.
Though you can specialize, you're free to mix and match between all disciplines.
So here you can see how, okay, so this is the skill tree. We've got skills, attributes, and talents. So there's a lot of stuff here. This is kind of like a Knights of the Republic or D&D-esque thing, or Dragon Age especially has skills, attributes, and talents as well. So the skills are going to be the stuff you're going to be using in combat, the things that really do the damage. And it may look like there's not that many to do. And there was a video I was watching that's saying that he had a concern about the variety of combat. Folks, this is my biggest pet peeve of people who ask for that. If you have so much freedom to just do whatever you want, then you're never going to really find your true focus on what kind of character you want. You want to be somewhat railroaded to where it seems like it gives you enough freedom, but it doesn't give you too much freedom to where you're just like never figure out what your major is or what you're, you know, in a career or something. Like, what if I just wanted to be only warrior? You can probably do that. Or if you wanted to be all warrior and have some science abilities or tech, you want to be okay at shooting but just a badass at melee, or vice versa on anything else. What if you wanted just to do mainly melee, and, you know, you just wanted to beat the shit out of your opponents, but sometimes you just don't have the time to do that and you want to lockpick a door? You could have some skills in that. That could be under talents as well. Skills, I think, is just mainly in combat, but, you know, I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, like I said, it's quality over quantity. And when you have great gameplay and fun combat mechanics, it doesn't matter. That's what Technomancer lacked. It had kind of something similar to this, but anything I did in Technomancer was nothing significant, and I didn't feel cool at all. It was just very muddled, very mundane. But now, if the combat is good enough, then it doesn't matter, because it's just fun. You want the combat to be fun, and then everything else is supplemental, you know? Do I want my guy just to throw a hailstorm and then all of a sudden he's sliding on the storm with some slide move that I have to press this and that, and I can do a backflip with a sweep kick? I'm like, this isn't a fucking fighting game, god damn it. I know it says an action role-playing game, but you know, let's keep it kind of on the level here, all right? It's still an RPG at its finest. There's still a pause menu to what you want to do and what spells you can and things you can encounter and do. I mean, in Knights of the Republic, there's a lot of different. For example, Knights of the Republic has a lot of skills that you can do. But shit, I don't want to put all skills in all of these things. There's so many in it. And at the end, I only had a handful that I really used. You know how many different power attacks there are? There's critical, there's power attack, and there's flurry. I only used flurry pretty much the whole time. I never even used a basic attack in that game. So it's like, you know, it gives you variety, but sometimes it's kind of just useless. Everything gets kind of swept behind. So I really appreciate the quality over quantity. And you know what? If the gameplay is fun, if it works, it's polished, it's not boring, it's exciting. Like how Fable 3 Fall had some really interesting combat. It had a mix and match, and you can do all the cool shit you want to do. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. As long as it works. As long as it's working, and it's not buggy or glitchy or any of that crap. So, variety is the spice of life, but I think there's enough variety, okay? If that's the guy's only concern is the variety of things you can do for skills and stuff, well, who knows? Maybe they'll add some content or DLC, but look, there's a lot of locked stuff we haven't seen yet. This is just a pre-build, and he was playing a demo himself. It's not going to give him all the active skills he could use or spoil everything. So let's continue. So this is insane. Now, there is some serious specs going on here. This is like your profile, your character sheet. Very important to look at and to keep on the fly by and look at constantly. This is your main character, already looking cool. The armor looks amazing aesthetically. All those neat little tidbits, the little bags, scrolls, a little light to have on your side, and some cool embroidered armor, and a little scarf in case you spill your spaghetti. So you can see here the level 24. So this is kind of an up and going character who's done some shit. So as we can see, the skills mainly in attack and defense, barely in technique, and none in magic. And that's perfectly fine. That's great. Level 24 still haven't maxed out the attack and defense, which is great because the game's going to have you playing a long time. And you can max out every skill you want, talent probably, but it's going to take you a long damn time, and you probably get bored of the game by then. But if not, fucking awesome. And it has not been confirmed that there's a new game plus, but I wouldn't doubt they put that in, or the game is just requiring you to play through on a different type of playthrough. A different way of enjoying the game, which I really do hope. I want to play these RPGs over and over like I did with Dragon Age and Mass Effect and all that good stuff, and Knights of the Republic. So, relationship level, as you can tell, you're going to be also having, these are party members, and then these are factions. So the party members she has is Vasco, Kurt, Afra, and Petrus. Suspicious, nice, suspicious. Of course, you're going to get one guy's favor, and everybody else is going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? You're insane. One person's going to be like, yeah, eat that heart. Eat the heart of that lamb. Everybody else is going to be like, whoa, this guy's fucking nuts. And they can get suspicious, and then obviously they can rebel against you and try to kill you or leave you or something. They might not like you in the end. So it's very important to play the character you want to play. This is how it would be in real life on a tabletop game, on a true CRPG and old school fantasy role-playing games. Not everybody's going to agree what you're going to be doing, and I'm glad for that. Because you can't always be the hero that people like. You're the hero that people deserve. You know, not the hero they want, that they deserve. So in the end, you're going to get results done, and that's all that fucking matters in a game like this, right? So, there's factions friendly with the natives. So this is a character who's trying to make nice, trying to side with the natives. Maybe the natives have been segregated. They've been bought for they've been taken from their lands. The resources have been pillaged, or they've been turned into slaves or something like crazy. I don't ever, you know. If I hear that there's any type of slavery in that faction, I'm never joining that fucking faction, because then their technology can't go that far. So as you can tell, nice, suspicious, and friendly. Also very excited to see that they have how much that plays a role in the game. If they have it on a character skill tree a character sheet like this, then that gets me pumped. So over here, you're going to see the melee and major two-handed and shot and defense in general. This will give you all your basic stats and what you're good at, and what kind of resistance you have, how much damage you do, and then just general aspects there. That's very exciting.
Ensuring
so let's
you're
continue.
prepared for all that lies ahead.
So look at that. These people are just fucking talking. I guess this is the group of enemies that fucking went in with a bang and just threw some shit, which is really cool. That offers many different ways of playing the game. Obviously, you want to be smart in how you do this, because I bet you anything, this mob will probably kick your ass if you're not too careful.
Combat styles are varied.
So he threw a bomb, and then he went for the one he shot them as well from the get-go. So if you're a far-range class, you're going to want to get that damage up and do as much as you can, chip away at that life meter. And as you can tell above their life bar, maybe you can't see it, but there's little shields up there for their armor class or armor rating, so you're going to have to get that down first. And some will be more resistant to other things. People will be resistant to heavy or physical or magic or guns. So be careful and learn your enemy. So as you can see, we're out in the wilderness fighting some beasts that live in this kind of place. I mean, this is just beautiful looking. This looks amazing. And it looks really cool. Some heavy hit, two-handed sword. Of course, we got another woodsy area, and you got a teammate with you. And then we're throwing some magic spells. You know, keep your distance and, you know, learn how to fight these enemies. So as you can see here, we got a group of enemies. Don't want that mob density. This character's getting his ass kicked. So like I said, just take your time and learn to be patient. These are difficult games. They should not be easy in every encounter. They should require you to have a thick, a very clear mind and understanding of what you're getting yourself into. So being a troll is not going to help you.
And unleash devastating spells before your enemies can even land a blow.
And as you can tell, I mean, just look at all these different combats and like, look at him. He's all the way back here now. You can teleport. You can go from one place to another. You're going to be all over the fucking place, kind of like how it is in Dark Souls and Witcher or Dragon Age or something like that, or Breath of the Wild. You're going to be all over the place, folks. So try to get creative and learn how to handle these situations, okay? You want to try to be careful as possible.
Armor up and knock down enemies with slow.
So, I mean, look at that. Look at that heavy swing. That's great. There's some weight to the combat. It's not just some, hey, yeah. Whereas it's like, you know, some 2-year-old made the combat with no impact or weight at all. This is great. As a two-handed person, you're going to feel the weight of that sword, and it's going to cause you to get hit a couple times because you're going to leave yourself open with heavy swings like that. But if people get in your way, you're going to fuck them up pretty good. Technomancer lacked the weight of combat. It was very on the surface and boring. Like I said, there was nothing very impactful about it. So I'm hoping this tickles your fancy, guys. It's good to have some weight because then it gives it the fights more meat to it, some more oomph. And you feel really good when you win. You're like, you gotta wipe the sweat off your virtual brow.
Two-handed weapons, or parry your way to victory with a fast.
This is pretty cool, you know, doing some cool combat moves and getting creative, and then you roll away, kind of like in Dark Souls.
Play fair.
And also, this is a Dragon Age thing or a Witcher. You're planning traps and everything. I mean, look at this. This is cool. Bear traps, as they get to call it. And you're going to lure them right into it. And sometimes this might be necessary. It might be necessary. Like I said, you got to get creative. But if you don't master in traps or get the basic understanding, then you're going to have to kind of get really creative with your single class build.
An array of traps, bombs, poisons, pistols, and rifles serve to offer even more control.
So it looks really cool. Get to see a cutscene here. What's going on? Some character kicking some ass. And also, this game is completely all done in mocap. That's how much budget they had in this game. You guys don't realize how much motion capture costs and how tiring it can get and how exhausting it can be. Motion capturing is probably one of the most difficult things to do in video games and just with anything. It's very difficult to get it done. And it's very expensive. And you got to hire mocap stuntmen, basically, and directors, and just all that crap. So I'm very glad that they're going balls deep with the budget. They are not fooling around.
Intense fights, you might want to utilize
as you see,
the
more mob density here.
Option.
So this is talking about the pause menu. This is done in Dragon Age and Knights of the Republic. Also in Mass Effect, you can pause it at any time you want to do the skills you want, but it's mainly done in Dragon Age and in Knights of the Republic, where it just automatically pauses. But of course, you can turn that off, I bet, and you can just pause it yourself, because sometimes you just need to think about what the next turn is going to be, kind of like in a D&D tabletop game. So it's great. So here we're going to see it just do some major damage here. It's going to do a storm attack, and it's going to stun them all to give you some heavy hits there, which is great. Now you only have to worry about one person for the time being. So we got the bomb combo, you got a good slam there. It's very exciting. And then this right here is a mini boss in the environment. There's one in each part of the level, so be careful. They could just be anywhere, which is really cool. They look very well designed.
Features hundreds of pieces.
So the next thing is talking about
equipment, armor, and clothing, letting you delve deep into creating.
So they're talking about customization. You guys are seeing how you can change your hilt, the type of blade, the color, The armor. What do you want? A shoulder piece? Do you want some steel? You want some leather? You want a scroll?
Your
You
own
want a little
look and
pouch? You
play
want a
style.
light? You want to change the
Many
color?
of-
I mean, faction designs and everything. This game is going balls deep with that. I love it. All the different customization choices that you are able to do. Dragon Age Inquisition had great customization on how your character looked. Every character and party member had its own style of customization and what armor types they could wear. It was fantastic. Did a good job there. And Mordhau, for example, allows you to pick many different weapons. They give you kind of a slight, barely selection of different hills you can pick, but there's a lot of different weapons you can use. But and this game kind of expands on that much more because all the different weapons you get, you're going to change their look. You can change the way the blade is, the handle, and just so much for you to do. It's so great how you can completely make your
These
character
are specific
like
to
that.
the island's distinct factions.
Like I said,
and
you're
may
seeing the
double
different
as a
factions here,
disguise
so
if
choose wisely. This is the native, the elven, so there's elves in this game.
subterfuge
Which is
proves
kinda crazy.
necessary. During quests and exploration, overcome
So,
challenges using stealth,
Seeing some, so we've seen some
deception, and
stealth right here, taking out. The stealth isn't something you're going to be doing every time. Don't expect to go stealth attack this guy the whole freaking time. Stealth is just used very seldom, I think. Used in dire situations or trying to get around something. But I don't know if there's like some stealth skills you use, like some shadow sneak or anything that does like attacks, like parry and riposte or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But if it doesn't, guys, don't let that beat you down. At least you get to use stealth, and it's used for a
combat,
specific reason.
or a mix of all three.
Man, that health is not
Struggling
going
to
down.
gain entry to a guarded building?
You're in our territory.
The obvious solution might be to just
So we're at the point where you're going to be talking to people and trying to converse and decide how you're going to want to handle each situation. You're going to want to blow up a wall, you're going to want to negotiate, or you're going to order something, or you're going to pay off. Depending on what the skills you have and how your character is built, you're going to get pretty much different options or options taken away. This is very piss poor
All the
option
guards in
selection for
combat
you, so
need
let's
the
watch.
key, but that kind of decision making could have messy consequences. Over time,
So as you can see here, reputation -1, that was on the screen there. So be careful. If you're attacking in one settlement and you're somehow aiding another settlement, they might not like you in the end. So that's a very realistic approach. That's kind of like Mountain Blade. You could be helping one nation, and then the other nation will not like you at all. So choose wisely. Pretty soon when you walk into the town, they'll probably
and you'll
shoot you in the
develop
face.
skills that offer alternative solutions. Knowledge
So look at that, science level. So we're going to see how the talent build goes to see what type of stuff you can unlock and what options
in
are
the sciences
available
might
to you.
allow you to craft.
So just because of that science level 1, she's able to blow up a wall. And look, your mentor's right there to witness the destruction at hand, showing how much of a crazy bitch you are. Crazy motherfucker you are. But that's okay, because he's there every step of the way watching you unfold and turn into this crazy, crazy person. But that's one way to do it. You can unlock the door, you can blow up a wall, or you can just fight your way in.
Explosives to blow out a wall, while a talent for lockpicking
Pretty awesome.
can gain a less
Pretty cool.
destructive entry. Remember, use
So here, you can negotiate. If you have enough persuasion, you can talk to intuition. Amazing. So you're going to have some charm abilities you're going to need to have, some persuasion skills, negotiate a ransom, all kinds of cool shit. I mean, look how completely different this is compared to what it was in the beginning. Now that you've got some skills and some talents and stuff, you've got some cool options to pick. And I'm so glad that they did it this way. Very exciting. They said that they wanted to make every decision you made something very special, something impactful. And also, they wanted every quest you do not to be boring. There's no more kill 5 birds, collect 10 stones or some shit. They wanted every quest to be something unique and memorable. And that's ambitious right there. That's amazing.
Not always the best way to diffuse a situation.
That drunkard is the only son of
So successfully used intuition, so
Prince
now she
d'Orsay.
convinced them.
Diplomacy is often an option, though be mindful in your choice of companions.
done with my mother.
A poorly timed outburst might ruin your chances at a
Alright, so this is during a cutscene, so you're going to be on the spot. If you don't do anything, then the decision is made for you. Your inaction may have caused someone to die or someone to really disrespect you. If you can't make a decision, they're going to really hate you. But if you make a decision and they don't like it, doesn't mean they're going to hate you flat out. At least you did something to try to convey something. Encourage her, convince her to stop, all kinds of stuff. You know, this is great. This is how you're going to get different endings in the game and everything. Very
peaceful
exciting.
outcome.
You're acting like a beast.
An ever-growing cast of
her
colorful
mouth didn't move
characters from
there.
a diverse range of factions joins you on the island.
So like I said, now it's showing all the different characters you're going to get in your party. And like I said, they all have their own likes and dislikes, personality attributes. So get to know them. Don't fuck around with them. Talk to them. Respect what they're trying to do. And maybe you won't like them flat out, but maybe you can work out to some compromise. Who knows? In the end, you might just have you and your mentor at the end. Who the fuck knows?
Who you bring with you into quest.
So this is what I like too. You have a social hub, a place where you make a campfire and your peeps are just all standing in a weird half circle here. I don't know if that makes entire sense. You would think some people would actually be standing, but whatever. Nobody really sits in Knights of the Republic on your ship besides like the captain or the pilot. Everyone else is just kind of standing, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But they're at least in different parts of the ship. Anyway, let's just go.
Combat is up to you. As you compose your party.
So you're going to have to figure out who you want in your group and how you want things to be handled. Like I said, somebody was worried about that if you don't have the skills to blow up a wall or unlock something, if you have people who do have the skills to do that, then they can do it themselves. They can actually help you out and do it for you. And he had a concern about that. I don't find that a concern at all because you know what? If you bring a party, there's a chance you could bring 2 party members that still don't have enough skill level to unlock the door or blast open a wall or be skilled in persuade or whatever you want to call it. They might just ruin it completely for you. They could just flip it on its freaking head. You might be screwed about that. So I don't think that's wrong. CRPGs do that all the time. Like in D&D, you have party members that have certain skills that can open certain doors, maybe locks, but maybe some people can't. Some can. Or maybe they can do it, or their skill level isn't high enough altogether. So it might not even mean that. If just because they can open a door doesn't mean they can open like a goddamn like special chest that has the best item in the game or something. They might have to have the max out lockpick rating. So it really just depends. So don't let that bring you down with that type of skill check and stuff like that. If they do it the way I'm saying it, it's going to be the best way because that just makes sense, you know. It's how it is in Dragon Age and Knights of the Republic and pretty much any CRP, Baldur's Gate, Divinity.
From the companions you've met
So that guy
far.
can shut up.
Develop your relationship with each party member.
Pretty cool. You can customize
And
how
I
your
heard that
characters
the
look and
singular
everything.
appearance make-
Okay, so this is pretty much the end of the video. It talks about, romancing and not fucking with your teammates, agreeing with it, compromising. And then it kind of talks about your decisions in the game weigh heavily on what you do and how the game is played. So that pretty much, I guess that's the thing we need to do. I guess everything else is fine. We don't have to go through any other videos or anything like that. So that is kind of Greedfall in a nutshell, folks. If you have any questions, just please leave comments down below. And I appreciate whoever stopped by the NikoTheLegend stream. If not, if there's anybody there, that's okay. Please follow me on the Twitch. Let me know what you think about Greedfall. Are you getting it? I will be getting it on day 1, and I'll be streaming the shit out of that game because that's a game that I will spend a lot of time doing. Of course, Link's Awakening comes out like a week later. Well, 2 weeks later, I think. So you can get it on Steam for $50, but there's probably a sale on Green Man Gaming, so just look at your options. Don't buy it in a hurry. Just look to see if you can get discounts. $50. This game looks $50 worth to me, unlike Control, which is a 10-hour game, $60. No, thank you. But get it on consoles, test it out. I hope it runs well on all platforms. I really do. Guys, if this game does really well, then this is going to be the BioWare killer. This is going to be the Dragon Age killer, the Witcher killer, probably. I don't know. I'm just overhyping it, but this is a game that needs to replace the BioWare void that they have left, the stupid wake. So, Greedfall, I wish you good luck, and thanks everybody for stopping by, and I hope to see you on the island looking for a cure for the plague.